Welcome to the Boom Boom Room, y'all, where there's no topic too big or small, where we talk about it all. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Boom Boom Room. I have Bob with me, and his channel is Bob Cadaver. What's up, Bob?
Not much, Ashes. Good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you, man. I'm glad you come on here, dude. Get to ask you some heart-to-heart questions and stuff, like what you eat for breakfast and what toilet paper you use, and do you use the dollar store type or you do good premium Walmart?
Fuck no, dude, man. I gotta have soft stuff on my ass.
Yeah,
I'm fucking old, dude. Yeah, Charmin or Quilted Northern, you know, that stuff that makes you feel like you're wiping your ass with feathers.
Yeah,
I gotta have that stuff.
Me too, dude. I got to the point I gotta get baby wipes now. Make sure it's really clean. You know.
Oh yeah.
And stuff, but I like that you were telling me before we start recording, you know, about the gun cabinet in the back. I love that gun cabinet. That's really sweet, you know.
Yeah. I've been working on that at my day. It started raining this morning. I was like, well, shit, there goes anything I'm going to do outside. I was like, well, you know, on my agenda for the week was to get my little gaming room kind of reorganized because my wife kind of took it over when my daughter was living with us.
Yeah.
We had used it for storage. So all behind me was just freaking boxes and crates and shit like that. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get my room back, man. So I've been working on that this morning. And
that's cool.
That's cool. Got my little "Don't Tread on Me" back there up on the wall.
Oh, hell yeah. That's sweet. That's super sweet. Are you, I noticed you've been, streaming a little bit more and dropping some videos. You gonna start doing that more frequent? Because I know you kind of took a break for a while.
Yeah, I probably not. I might try to drop. I want to get a DayZ series going again.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. I don't really have the time anymore. I don't have the energy anymore to put into it like I used to.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, 'cause I'm freaking 51 this year, and I'm getting older and shit. And you know, I work 45 hours a week, and every Friday night I'm on record to call for 24 hours. So, I want to get that series going. I might get some silent DayZ series going. Jump back into that again, but probably I'm just going to keep it, you know, keep it as it is. So, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. I know how life is. But I was going to ask you the regular questions I ask most people, maybe ask some different, but what got you to start a channel on YouTube? What got you into that?
Oh, well, way back when, probably this was 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6, when I started really following YouTube. I was following Red Kuga. I was following, let's see, that was a little bit before Guru, so I'd been Brian Menard, Prime, Black Tri-Dog.
Yeah.
I don't think he was streaming back then, but he played with Red Kuga. Mike Jones, you know, some of the original Boot Gang guys, you know. I kind of tagged on to Red Kuga and got into some of her streams with her and played a lot with her. And I was like, you know what? Shit, I could do this on my own. You know, back then I didn't have shit for a setup. You know, my videos were horrible, but you know, now A-Cup has me a sweet setup. I can put out some pretty good content. So I decided, you know, Red Kuga, she kind of slowed down a little bit. So I was like, you know, I picked up my channel and off we went.
Yep. I know that I said this before. I think that was all before my time. But when I first got into the Discord, I found all you guys about together, all together, you know, at once. I don't know when I found first, Guru or Prime, and then it was like dominoes. Got in there. But I know maybe this answered my question, you know, a minute ago, but do you see any future? I mean, what do you see in a year or two with your channel? I mean, what do you want to do?
I would like to hit that 500 subscriber mark, just to hit it. But the problem is I was looking at my stuff today and I'm like at 900 freaking hours or something. So I'm never going to reach that 3,000. You know, there's no way. I'm not gonna do it. But it'd be sweet to say, you know, I have 500 people going, you know, follow me. But I got to keep it going because, you know, people like watching my State of Decay 2 stuff. And once State of Decay 3 comes out, I'm gonna be in it. That's all I'm gonna be playing. So I'm gonna keep it going.
Well,
Slowly but surely.
Well,
And,
you know it like I know it, dude. If you would had the time, you'd have done been monetized. You really have. 'Cause
right,
people
right.
enjoy your stuff.
Yeah, I don't have the time to put into the like it is. It's a hobby. It really is.
Yeah.
I like video gaming. I like playing with people. I know I don't multiplayer a whole lot anymore. I jump on with A Cup and Guru when I can, but there was a time that I was playing with everybody. We were doing all kinds of State of Decay 2 stuff. Creature was my second hand. Me and him, shit, we got into all kinds of trouble. Multiplayer, it was awesome playing with him. And it's just, things happen. Life happened.
Yeah.
I was gaming way too much, and it was putting a hurt on the old marriage. So
that comes first. You know what I mean? Your marriage, and it happens. Little things like that happens in life. You just got to correct it. And I know you correct it, but I mean, even though that was not a bad habit you had, and you wouldn't run it around, going to bars, get drunk and run, but still, it does take time, and sometimes we get caught up. I have in the past, relationships and stuff, but, if I wasn't retired, Bob, and wasn't, single for the last 2 years, I wouldn't have put the time that I put in it, dude. There's no way.
Right.
If I was working, I don't even know if I'd even have a fucking channel if I was working, because I used to work on the road all the time for 22 years, and shit, I'd get in a motel, and I maybe if I wasn't wore out from working all day in the fucking sun, 110-degree weather, I might play an hour or two of a game in the motel, but most of the time I was too tired. And then the only time I would play is like in the winter time, when I wasn't working, snowing, or I couldn't work outside, and that's when I'd game a lot. But dude, you gotta it's a good habit. It really is a good habit. I'll ask you this question here, which I probably don't answer this too. What game are you really looking forward to in the next year or two?
Probably won't be a year, but it'll probably be two. But it's definitely it's three. I can't. I just hope when they release it, it's not a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Just take your time, release something real good. You got Microsoft behind you, so let's go. Put out a decent game. But it's definitely State of Decay 3. I'm not sure if it's this year or next year. I saw that they were going to do like a prequel to Gears of War.
Really?
And if that comes out, I'll probably be streaming some of that, because I like the Gears of Wars. There's a fun game to play. They were like way ahead of their time. The graphics in that game was so freaking good on the 360. It's like, holy shit, how did they pull this off? So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But that's really about it. I've been playing video games for a long time. Shit, A Cup and I would, when we were little, we would play all the dang time. In fact, shit, when I was just got married and just out of school, I had my own apartment. Shit, he'd come over and stay the night. We'd play Tecmo Super Bowl on the Super Nintendo. We'd stay up all freaking night long and just do a whole season, and see if we could both make. He'd pick an NFC, I did AFC, and we could see if we could make it to the Super Bowl and play against each other. Yeah. But I've been gaming for a long time, man. Call of Duty, I played that. Madden, I played that. I don't play those games anymore. So I'm just, I'm stuck on State of Decay 2 right now, and a little bit of DayZ, and I try to sprinkle a few things in here and there. World at War II, Call of Duty. Yeah, that's, before you ask, that's the top game right there. Yeah, I can sit down and play World at War II. Anytime, and just enjoy the shit out of that game, man. I love World War II games, but the Call of Duty World at War II, that's my top game right there.
Yeah, my son loves that game. He's big. He'll be 27 in a couple weeks, and he is a World War One and Two buff. That's all he watches is documentaries on that shit. He could tell you about everything, and he loves those games. And I'm looking at him, dude, for your age, you're crazy over that, studying that war stuff. And I guess you can have it worse or have it, but it blows my mind as much knowledge as he knows about things and. Like World War II, but yeah, them games there, those are his favorite. I know back in the day, I really liked when you mentioned Tecmo Bowl and ice hockey, all them games back in the day, Super Nintendo. But that Gears of War, that was kind of a time that I wasn't playing games, but that game I played it a little bit. It's a game I could really get into, but it was a little bit older game, and I had other stuff. You know how other stuff take over. Probably State of Decay 2. But yeah, State of Decay 3, I think that... What do you think they'll release it, Bob? Your honest opinion.
It's going to be a couple of years. I don't think they'll have it ready next year.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'll be surprised if they have it ready in the fall of next year. But I probably thinking the spring of the following year.
Yeah.
2027, I bet.
2027. Yeah, that's about what I was thinking too. I thought it would have been the end of this year, and then Prime.
No way.
Yeah, Prime made that video, and he kind of made a point about something, and I started thinking, yeah, maybe he is right about pushing it. But like you said, when it comes out, I want it to be a fucking masterpiece. Waiting on it this long, and I'd rather for him to wait, an extra year. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you this. Anybody watch this video? This is. A Cup plays Big Brother, so just to get that straight, if you guys don't know that. But how was it growing up with A Cup anyway? Was he good pain in the ass or what?
He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it slapped him around a little bit or what?
Oh yeah, you heard that story, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I didn't take no shit from him. Yeah, during his interview, that was the time he flipped me off right in my face, and I picked him up by the throat. We were living in a trailer. We were living at the trailer at the time.
Yeah.
And there was like a vacuum cleaner behind him. I grabbed him by the throat and picked his little ass up, and hold him up to his head to the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
Don't you ever do that again to me, you little bastard. But no, he's a great little brother, man. I'll tell you what.
That's good.
He really is.
That's good.
We get along. We get along real good.
It sounds like y'all do.
We do. We got a great relationship. So I'm kind of a homebody. I don't get out and about much. I don't have too many friends. But
I'm the same way.
Not even being a brother, he's one of my best friends. So. That's the way it should be.
Yes, it should, dude, because I got two older brothers, and we never was close, and we'd always fight, and, you know what I mean, for some reason and stuff, and then, now I got one brother that's in a nursing facility, had a bad motorcycle wreck, which he's mentally there, but he can't take care of himself, and we're unable. The way I'm set up here now, maybe later I'll let him live with me, but everything's upstairs, and he's got to walk with a cane, and he's my older brother. He's 52, and looking up to him, he's always the strong one, and we would fight a little bit, but not as much as our other older brother. But and he had a bit bad motorcycle wreck, but thank God he come out of it in a bad situation. But yeah, you got a family, man, comes first. Like I said, anything shouldn't get into that, like gaming or anything should become, but I think that I'm proud of A Cup. A Cup's really entertaining, and A Cup, he really is, and he's a good, solid dude. I can imagine him as a brother and stuff. But y'all growed up in Indiana your whole life, didn't you, Bob?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We actually have family kind of down in your neck of the woods. We got family in Little Rock. Little Rock, and we kind of originated from southern Arkansas, is where my grandmother was from, and she grew up in southern Arkansas, and right on the Georgia border, I think, is where it was. Some little town. that recently almost got wiped off the map by those tornadoes that came through. I don't remember the name of it. My grandmother, it starts with an H. It's just a real small little town. But they said they got hit really hard with those tornadoes. But yeah, we're southern blood, that's for sure. So but we both grew up here in Indiana. So
Indiana did. My dad used to spend a lot of time up there when he was working back in the 80s before he ended up with MS, multiple sclerosis, and got handicapped, passed away with that disease. But he was a veteran, you know. He was a air traffic controlman during the Vietnam War for the Navy. But he would work, I think in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, the stories that, you know, he would tell me. But he's been passed away for a while, I think 25 years, but he would tell me about that, you know, working in Indiana. And his brother, which would be my uncle, had a company in Chicago, a paving company, and he'd go work with him because, you know, Chicago, I guess, ain't super far from Indiana, you know, which I haven't been up there in a while.
No.
Yeah, it was, I think he'd hang out at Terre Haute, you know, and around there. Yep. I went up there and worked probably in the late 90s, I think, in Columbus. It's been a long time since it's probably been about 6 years since I come through Indianapolis and everything. And I used to work with my brother, and I had tickets. Now I got a first cousin that's he's a race freak. Indianapolis, loves Indiana, you know, the Indy racers, and he's been to, like, he told me the other day, 27 Indianapolis 500s he's been at.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and he's like 61, and I had a chance to go when I was working up there, but I was, you know, young teenager, partying too much, working up there in the summer, and didn't want to go. But yeah, it's a cool little town. Used to hang out a lot in the mid '90s and stuff. Nice little town, you know. Remember going to clubs and stuff up there. But I've always been a Midwestern Southern boy. And did you ever travel a lot out of the state, Bob? You ever go anywhere?
Yeah. Now, like I said, I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
We've you know, I've been to the surrounding states, you know, Michigan, Illinois. I got relatives in Ohio. We've been down to Florida a couple times, so I've been through all the southern states down there. Went out to New York City once on a vacation. Wife and daughter, we went out there. So but that's about it. My wife wishes I'd travel more, but you're like me. I don't like going nowhere. I don't get out and about, especially in bigger cities. I don't like big cities. Yeah, I really don't. People just annoy the shit out of me sometimes.
Me too. I try to hold myself. You know, I try to train my mind, you know, about being humble and letting things go, because my mom, she was a little firecracker. You know, she taught us, you know, she take us to church all the time, but she'd tell us not to take no shit. You know what I mean? Because she's a freaking fire. She was about 5'2", but, you know, she was known not to take any mouth. But, you know, you can't be that way going through society, because you'll get in trouble, you know, real quick and stuff. You get in trouble real quick and stuff. Because it's hard, because there'll be people in the Discord community, Bob, that says certain things, you know, and you got to hold yourself, because I respect everybody's beliefs. You got to when you're gaming, you know, when you're doing like what I'm doing, you know, and you're doing to a certain extent, you know, you got to respect everybody's the way they believe. You know, I know, like you probably believe 99% the way I believe. And it's when you get into gaming, you just got to, I don't know, how can I say it, man? You just gotta let that all out the window and just have fun with gaming. But it annoys you, though, when people kind of push you, when you start making fun of your beliefs and shit like that, you know, if it's your political or, you know, or your religious beliefs, it annoys you. And then you tell them to shut up about it. We're gaming, and then they want to keep pushing you. That's what annoys me the most. But we're all in this to have fun. and respect each other. But yeah, it's hard. In other words, what I'm saying is I got to train myself because I get myself in trouble real quick.
Yeah.
I got that mouth.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's a different animal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's you can always, if you're playing with the person and they're toxic, if you're hosting, there's always that kick button, boom.
Yeah.
Or you could just, it's like I said, I gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
Something come up, or if they're, especially if you got somebody in your chat in a live stream, that's what your moderators are for.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, moderator, take care of that. I've done that before. A-Cup's done that before me.
Yeah.
I've done that for A-Cup. You got to have somebody watching your back in your stream. I know it's hard to find somebody that's going to be there every time, but
Yeah, it is.
There's always toxic people out there, and you just gotta put up with them. Put a smile on, say yep. Don't come across as an asshole. It's like, this ain't the time and place for that.
Exactly.
We're here to have fun and game. Take yourself somewhere else. Before I get rid of you.
Yeah. Do y'all live out in the country? I know you. Or do y'all live in the city?
I'm in a small town.
I'm in a small town. That's good.
I think there's. Hang on a minute. Let me look it up here. A-Cup's out in the country. I'm kind of jealous of him because he can go out his backyard. He can go out his backyard and do some shooting anytime he wants. Me, I can't. I gotta travel.
Well, that's what I was wondering because I grew up in the country. You know what I mean? And we just do that in our backyard. If we wanted to practice our firearm safety, we did it in the backyard.
Yeah. That's what I kind of miss growing up. Growing up, we grew up out in the country, and it was great, man. We ran around with freaking BB guns, and when we were young enough, just shooting anything that moved and trapping things in the fields, field rats and stuff like that. So
that's what we did. We lived outside, dude. We come up the same generation. I'm 48. We would just fucking live out in the woods all the time. Mom would just say, just get back before 5 o'clock or whenever.
Yep. Dark, you better be home. 68,072. That's the population of the little town I live in. So we're not a very big town.
Well, shit, that sounds like where I live at Fort Smith. We only got like 78,000. It's the second biggest. I think it's the second biggest city in Arkansas. They ain't really got no big cities in Arkansas. It's just Little Rock. And
Little Rock.
Yeah, but where I live on the far western Arkansas. See, I was born in this town here, Fort Smith, over in Oklahoma, where I grew up. That's where all my family. But it's only like 5 miles because it's on the line. And but I've lived over there most of my life, but I've been living over here probably for 6-7 years. But when you're out in the country, I grew up in a small town, out in the country from a small town which only had like 2,200 people. And stuff. That's when you call small. Everybody knows everybody there.
You betcha. You can't. The problem is you can't get away with shit in a small town like that when you're growing up because everybody knows you, knows your parents. You come home and get your ass whooped for no reason, and it's like, why? It's like, why.
Everybody knows everybody in the little small towns, and it's funny how the old. Their little government, though, there's a lot of crooked shit goes on too. I've seen through the years. There's like certain families got power, just like the movies. That shit goes on for real. I've seen it, dude. And
they can get away with it because they're small.
Yeah, they get away with it. Because I've had relatives that want to build car washes, and you got to go through red tape and go through councils, and they'll boot you. They got to vote on that. And it's funny how things work political. But what's your favorite movie, Bob? I know I ask people that because I love movies and shit. Tell me Predator.
My favorite. I do like Predator. I like the first one. The rest of them I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
I did like the first one. My favorite one would be Saving Private Ryan, hands down. That's my favorite one. I like the war movies. And action movies and stuff like that, but Saving Private Ryan would be up there. That'd be number one.
What about what did you think about All Good on the Western Front? Is that the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie? I know you've had to see it.
I think I've seen it. I don't remember though.
I think it's called
Yeah, I
All
don't
Good
remember
on the
seeing it.
Western. Well, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's a World
I've
War
probably
II.
seen it.
They
I've
had an
probably seen
old
it if it was on
version of
Netflix.
it. Yeah, they had an old version of it where it was in Italian, and dubbed. And my son was saying, and anyway, they got, but yeah, I think it's called now All Good on the Western Front. But yeah, that my son's in World War II. Like I said before, I love those movies, man. All the World War II, World War I movies, even freaking Korean. Even old John Wayne ones I like, because they just make trash anymore, man. Just trash, just trash. And just like, okay, I don't know if you was one of them that voted on it or even watched it. The Last of Us, season 2, the first episode. Yep. Did you watch it?
Yep. I did. Yep.
I'll be honest with you, I did not like it at all, and it was nothing to do, I'm not homophobic, nothing to do with that like that. It was just, there was just no story there, man. It
right.
Was,
Well, it's the first episode. They got to get going.
I know, but
I kind of wish I kind of forgot it was on.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I would have binge watched the first season again.
Me too.
Before but I was like, I just jump in and watch it. But we'll see how it goes. I thought the episode was all right.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. I'm not a diehard. I gotta watch it. But I kind of watch. It's a zombie. It's a zombie show. You gotta watch it.
Oh well, fuck yeah, you gotta watch it. You definitely. That goes back to what's your favorite series you've ever watched? What'd you say? You gonna say Band of Brothers?
It's up there, dude. Yeah. It's up there. Yeah, Band of Brothers is up there. I like the Pacific.
Oh yeah.
Hell on Wheels. I like that kind of new genre of Western. They still got the Western feeling, but you got the new actors, the nowadays actors.
Was that good? Was that actually good?
Hell on Wheels. Oh, Hell on Wheels is excellent.
Oh, shit. I got to watch that.
Yeah, you got to watch Hell on Wheels if you have access to it. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. If you like that style of Western shows, yeah. Uh-huh. It's the same with, watching all the, what's the Kevin Costner one? Shit, it slipped my mind. The new one out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. I've watched the first one. Yeah.
Anyhow, shows like that, I really like that. So, I like The Sopranos and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I missed out on The Sopranos, and I've been watching it kind of slowly in the last month or so.
Yeah.
Because I've watched stuff. I think if I would have watched it when it came out, I'd really loved it. Does that make sense? Right. Because I watched Breaking Bad. It's my favorite of all time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just the way the characters are written, it's just so deep and, damn good movie. But yeah, I had Hell on Wheels, there, but I never, I had it on my list, but I never did watch it. Something else come up, and I was, man, is this going to be any good? Should I waste my time, watching it? Because usually I don't watch anything, maybe in the evening time, a couple times a week, but Sundays I try to take things off and really clean the place since I don't have anyone to help me, and I'll take off and watch a couple hours of series or movies. But yeah, I'll definitely put that on my list, Bob.
Deadwood's another good one.
Yeah,
that's another kind of Western. Deadwood. Mm-hmm. Justified.
Oh fuck yeah, Justified.
That's a fucking good. Yeah, that's a good one. That lead actor in Justified. He plays in Deadwood.
Yeah.
He does good. And then the lead actor in Hell on Wheels is Anson Mount.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watched any of the new Star Trek stuff.
No, I haven't watched any of the new stuff.
Yeah, the new stuff's pretty good. You like on Paramount Plus, the Picards and the Enterprise. He's and stuff like that. I like that sci-fi shit. Star Trek, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and stuff like that. So I got kind of a wide genre of shit I like to watch.
It sounds like because I'm kind of a movie buff. I never was deep into Star Trek or any of that. I've watched the old shit and watched a few of the newer movies. I could like it, you know what I mean? I could get into it. I knew I could. I just ain't took the time. I would always watch something else. You know what I mean? Now, I was a big Star Wars fan. You know, always was a big Star Wars fan. Grew up watching that.
Sure.
But
yeah, the originals. The originals.
the original.
You can't go wrong watching the original ones. The newer ones, they're okay. But man, there ain't nothing like watching freaking the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Go through. I sat down about once a year and watch all those Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and New Beginnings. I just sit there and watch all three of them in a row and just binge watch them on one day.
Yeah.
It's a rainy day, nothing to fucking do.
Yeah, that's the best.
Click it on, watch it.
Yep.
You know, same with like Lord of the Rings. I like the first three Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Those are great.
I'll sit there and watch all those movies on one day on a real shitty weekend, Yeah.
So, those are really good.
Like that.
Especially have a good pot of soup on or some beans and it'd be cold and watch that. That's the fucking best.
Yeah.
I had
soup and cornbread.
Yeah, some good.
Fuck yeah.
I've never made no corn. Man, I see some shit y'all cook. You ain't A Cup, man. I know y'all can cook. I look at that food.
You said cornbread.
I've never made cornbread. I ate it, but I never made it before. You know.
Well, I made it out of the goddamn box, Jiffy.
Oh yeah.
Just buy it in a box. I'm not talented enough to make my own goddamn cornbread. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't know. I've seen some of the fucking barbecue y'all make. You know.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah. It's just that's all season. That's all seasonings, dude. Just pick the right seasonings.
Yeah.
And cook it the right amount of time, and that's. I'm thinking about throwing some ribs in the smoker sometime this week. Is what I'm gonna do. It's barbecued ribs. Oh.
Yeah, I used to do this shit all the time when I had like an acre when I was married to my son's mom. I had like a little acre and I had a mobile home on it, and we lived in that for about 14 years until me and her got a divorce. But I had a nice little porch, covered porch, and I had a little smoker out there, especially on Sundays before I'd get up early before I'd go to church, and I'd throw something on, a roast or something or some ribs, and that'd be done, or the morning or the night before, throw it on there. But I don't really have the room. I could barbecue here. This is like I don't know. It's apartment, and it's like 2 apartments in one, and there's upstairs and a downstairs, and I got a neighbor, next. It's only one little. It's not like apartment complex with a bunch of them, and you can pretty well
It's like a big house that's hacked into 3 apartments.
Well, 2,
like that.
Yeah, 2, yeah, and it's got a little lot out here. We park our vehicles. You can pretty well do what you want. And the guy that owns the apartments, he got 100 units, and he. The next door neighbor from South Carolina, he's one of the maintenance guys that works with him, for him. So he's cool as shit, you know what I mean? And he doesn't bother me. And he's divorced. He's got a son that's autistic out there that they're the coolest could be. And he smokes him a little weed and drink, So he's mellow. But they're building some apartments like I don't know what you'd say about 3 blocks down. Well, the guy that here is parting with another guy. It's the DuPont's cousin, the DuPont paint or whatever, racing. Yeah. So I didn't know that. It's like the racing team's first cousin. And they're building some apartments. And the only thing about the apartments, Bob, it's all metal. You know what I mean? And the freaking kitchen's upstairs. I just think that's weird because it gets so damn hot. You know what I mean? I walked in while he was building. That's what kind of design is that to build a kitchen, upstairs? But but my whole point of that is I really don't have the room. I'll go on rabbit trails all fucking time. To barbecue, I could get out there and barbecue. You ain't got to worry about. I'm not in a bad neighborhood, but you got to worry about people stealing shit. Anywhere you at, it doesn't matter where you at and stuff. But I'm trying to think of some other questions I can ask you, Bob. Anything you want to tell me? I'm kind of blank this morning.
Well, I got you up early. I got you thrown off your schedule.
No, I went to bed.
You were gonna ask me a question. What'd you say last night in your stream about prison.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, don't tell him what I said.
It was off the wall. No, I have not. I've never been in prison, dude. So.
No, I've never either. I've been to jail before,
Well,
for little
I've never even been in the back of a squad car. At least. Well, actually, I take that back. I have been because I've worked on them before. So
yeah.
So, but
I've done stupid things before when I was younger, and stuff that I wasn't proud of. Just little minor shit, you know what I mean? But when I was 17, got a DUI and shit like that. And just little shit like that. But
when you're young and dumb, you do stupid shit. I did all kinds of stupid shit when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
that I should have been put in jail for.
got
away with it because you were in a small town, and you knew most of the officers. You knew most of the officers, so
Yeah. So what do you think that you'll be doing in another couple of years? Just what you're doing, gaming wise? You just see yourself just doing the same? I mean,
just kind of cruising along. Yeah,
just cruising along.
I don't think, like I said, the channel's not really going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
just a little, a steady growth would be okay.
Yeah,
like I said, if I hit 500 subs, that'd be pretty cool. I was shocked when I hit my first 100. Every time I hit that 100 mark, it's like, holy shit, there's still people out there wanting to watch my stuff. So I just kind of keep trucking along and seeing, but we'll see what happens.
Now,
I'm gonna try to keep.
When did you start your channel, by the way? Do you remember what year? I was trying. I've been watching y'all for 4 years.
It's been at least 4 years. Oh, hang on. I could let you know.
All right.
Let me pull up my YouTube real quick. I can pull up my channel, and I think will it tell me, or I can see what my late.
It should tell you. Sometimes it lies, to say you joined so and so and.
Well, I think that is when you actually joined YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I
said. Let me go to my videos, and let me go to my playlist.
Because I was trying to think how long I've been in the community, man. It's got to have been 4 years. Been here too. Me and Creature talked about it a while back. How long we knew each other. Yeah, I was trying to think.
It had to be at least probably 4 years.
I think 4 years.
I think I've been going for about 4 years because that's about my oldest videos is 4 years ago.
I was thinking, I know this November will be 3 years I'll have my channel. And you guys all had a channel and stuff. Let me ask you.
I think. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. When you started your channel, honestly, what did you expect to get out of it? Honestly, at first, I mean, did you expect to just like take off and hit 1,000 subscribers, or?
Nope. I wasn't in it for that, dude. I was just in it because I enjoy playing video games with people.
Yeah.
And we always had such a good time doing it, and I just wanted to share it with a bunch of people. I never expected to take off. Like I said, I never expected to have 100 people. 100 people, subscribe to me. So I wasn't in it to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It was just a hobby that I like doing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep, that's how it started with me. I think Ted and Creature pushed me, and then I seen you guys, and I said, man, y'all inspired me. I said, man, these guys to playing State of Decay, and that's when I started my channel, and I didn't expect to, I mean, I'll tell anybody, I've got a lot of time on my hands, I'm retired. I put a lot into things, and that's about the time, too, when shorts was really coming out. And I think that's what pushed me to get to 1,000 or 4. It was the shorts. So that's what really helped me. I hit it at the right time after the COVID era, and just started pumping the shorts out. That's what really helped me. But I've seen there's the dude's new friends, I've been friends with for a few months. The side order, the two guys, they just took off in a year. They was telling me they got 14,000 in a year. You know, it's just, I think it's all about luck too. You know, hitting that algorithm and it's luck. You know,
it definitely is. That's for sure.
I mean, I know you probably agree with me. You tell anybody if they think they're going to have a YouTube channel and they're going to quit their day job. So, you know what I mean?
I tell you what, if you get that big, if you get that big, you
Yeah.
quit your day job, man. Congratulations to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it really is, because you know I was in the ground floor. Shit, I was in the ground floor with you know, Brian Menard.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't didn't have that many subs when I joined him.
Yeah.
You know, and he was plugging along. You know, he was
Yeah.
still. I think he was a truck driver and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he just freaking exploded.
He did.
I don't know how he did it, but he just exploded and took off. And that you know, that's his full-time job. So I was like, congrats to him. You know, congrats to anybody that can do that. That can actually put that kind of effort into a channel.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't do it. You know, like you've seen my videos and stuff. You know, I've put out a few shorts, but they're more of a pain in the ass. They're a pain in the ass to me, and I don't like doing it. And you know, none of my videos are edited. Not a single damn one.
Yeah.
What you see with me is what you get. You know, I'll put out the best video and audio that I can.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna edit. I'm not editing shit.
I got you.
I got my little intros and, you know, be right back screens and shit like that E-Cup set me up with, and I haven't done shit with them since.
Yeah.
And I put as little effort as possible into my channel. I try to do it more being entertaining in my videos and being, you know, informative in my videos, and you know, people like it. You know, I got people commenting all the time. Hey man, I didn't know you could do that. But, you know, thanks. I watched you. I learned a lot watching you, especially when I started off in DayZ.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit I discovered in DayZ that it's like, wow. And you know, a lot of it was watching other people play DayZ. But you know, I had a lot of people like, man, I didn't know you can do that in DayZ. Thanks for showing me that. So, but you know, I put the time and effort into the games that I do play. You know, I do a lot of research on it, and you know, I try to follow what's new and stuff like that. And yeah, people. I was trying to see if I can find shit on there that I had from Red Cougar, but I'm pretty sure it's been like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, see, I didn't know Red Cougar, and when I found out y'all found Brian Menard too, because that's when he's really playing the SOD2, and I kind of followed him really deeply. You know, if you like the dude or if you don't like him, you got to give him props. You know what I mean? Because he is a good player, and I remember that he. You know, I don't know what he had, under 10,000 subs maybe when I started watching. But I tell you what I noticed about him when he blew up. He played Fallout 4, and that really shot him up, dude, like 30, 40,000. I watched him because my old lady, she was my ex-girlfriend, and we've been over two years, and probably a year before that. So it was been about 4 years. We was in the house at the time. So about 4 years, 3.5, 4 years, we would watch Brian Menard, and he was playing Fallout 4, and that's what really blew him up. And because she was a big Fallout 4 fan, and a matter of fact, she was the one that found Prime and Brian Menard and Guru, because she was going, you know, watching videos. She was like, she was weird. She just loved watching me play a video game all the time and watching videos. I guess it could be worse. She ended up cheating on me, but you know, fuck her. But anyway, you know, I mean, she was a good girlfriend. She did loved me, you know, playing video games and watching them. I think she smoked too much weed. I think that's what she liked, getting stoned watching me play. But anyway, fucking lazy as shit. She wasn't no good for anything. But yeah, that's what I think exploded him, and he just hit that. I guess he got lucky. But I mean, like him, you know, according to Google, you know, the money he's making, you know, on AdSense, you know, you can't believe all that fucking shit. But they say he's making about 11,000 to 13,000 a month in AdSense. That's what Google said. I mean, no fucking shit, dude. Then that's just AdSense. Think about the membership gifting and the fucking super chats. You know,
I like I said, I don't.
Yeah.
Every now I don't watch him anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get the chance.
It's you know, once State of Decay 3 comes out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I might watch a couple of his videos, but that's the only thing I watched then was State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
I even, back in the day, I even, I played with him a couple
Yeah.
times and stuff like that. I was in a couple challenges that he did,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And, that's kind of like got my, cut my teeth in there, and, him and, Black Tri-Dog playing the Dark Side mod. And,
Yeah.
that's how I got be such a good player. But, if you watch some of my stuff, the recent stuff that I did was awesome. I can't use a fresh character with the shit.
Yeah.
I suck at it. But once I get that character leveled up to where they're almost, red talons, I can fucking rock a red talon.
Yeah.
And normal character, once I get them built the way I want them to do them, they're not far away from the red talon skills.
Yeah.
I can do really good with them. But you throw me in a fresh community and give me a challenge, shit. I can't, because I can't change my play style.
Yeah.
I'm so used to playing with those leveled up characters that I know what I can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do the same thing with a fresh character, and it's like you can't do it. You got to change the way you play with them.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, that's interesting, man. I learned a lot from all you guys, but every one of them in the community, you guys are way better than me. I used to, but after a few of them updates, man, I don't know what the fuck happened. It got harder, way harder to me.
Yeah.
SOD.
Well, they increased the zombie spawn is what they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot more zombies than what there used to be, and they do a lot more bullshit cheesing and glitches that the game has. That's the main difference.
Yeah.
It ain't that the game's harder. It's just there's more zombies. They throw more at you.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed it was a big change, but I've kind of got burned out in it. It's probably, it is in my top 5 favorite games of all time, but I'm just at the point right now I'm burned out. I just get burned out. Like DayZ, I got burned out a few months on it, then I come back to it. I'll leave it and then come back to it. But, DayZ's a game that is like that to me. It ain't a game that you just play it, burned out, lay it down, don't pick it up again. It's a game, especially on PC, with all the fucking servers. You see them servers I played, it's a whole new fucking game, dude.
There's a shit ton of them, dude. I feel you. That's the way I got with DayZ. I got burnt out on it. That's why I haven't been playing it. And when the new map come out, it's the call map. I was kind of all right, sweet new map.
Yeah.
And get in there, 15 minutes later you're freezing to death.
That's all.
I'm like, I was like, okay. Let's see if there's a workaround, a way to do this. I just couldn't figure it out. I was like, you know what, fuck this. I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing you play some of the AI servers and shit like that. So I'm thinking about giving that a shot because I do have it on PC. Yeah. It's just I can't play the fucking game on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But there's a setting on there where you can still play it with the controller, but you still got to use your mouse.
Yeah.
And I was pretty decent at that.
Yeah.
So it's just it's slow. Because you got, if you want to use your mouse, you got to take your hand off your own controller and move over to your mouse. So you can't do it while you're in combat, But
no.
I might jump back into it and give it a go again at some point. But,
see, I done that for like a year, Bob, with doing the controller and the mouse and keyboard, like you said, and then finally I said, fuck it, I said I'm fuck the controller, and it took me I'm still not. I can't hit like 1, 2, or 3 on the keyboard because some people can change their weapons real quick. I still got to look. But it took me, I'm not going to lie, about a month to kind of get it down a little bit playing with the mouse and keyboard. But it's still, I still got to look. I mean, I'm but once you do that in DayZ, you love it though, you know what I mean? It's just getting a learning curve, I just play it a little bit here and there and finally picked it up, but once you learn it, it's fucking lit. But that's how DayZ is a game like that you just come back to. And they've got a couple AI servers now. Ross played with me on one I told him about. It's called BSBS, and he got 2 servers, and one's got zombies and like creatures, and then the other one has no zombies, just AI. Now you're thinking, well, man, that's fucking shitty, you know, no zombies, just AI. No, there's action, dude. In every town, there's AI. And then you could shoot them, you know, and get your shit and go trade it. And it's not a bad server. Anything you play, though, any kind of server, you're going to get fucking burned out on it in DayZ.
Right.
And then you'll go to a different server. And it just depends on the space on your PC, you know, it takes a lot of space up to mods. But what I'll do is after a while, I'll go in there and look, you know, 4 or 5 of my favorites and just, you know, erase all the mods and then start over whatever I'm playing again and stuff on that. But anyway, Bob, is there anything you want to add before I end this? I looked over, I didn't know we was going that long.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I think I'm good, man. I don't have really any questions for you or anything.
All right, then. Well, I appreciate it, Bob. I appreciate you coming on, and I've been putting people's links in the videos, and the links are not showing up. I got to figure out why. Like A cups, I had to go back and check. Sauce, I go in there, but what I'm saying is I'll drop your link, you know, in the video when I drop this video in the description. So yeah, guys out there, don't forget to go check out Bob Cadaver. He's sitting around low 400s and help him hit 500, guys. And he's got great content. And believe me, he's worth it. If you like A Cup, his brother, you'll like Bob. Believe me.
Thanks, Pastor. Thanks for having me.
No problem. But I appreciate it, guys, out there in YouTube land. And until next time, everyone, peace out.